sorry. We will start this evening. Ooh, sorry, Josh. I'll do that 14 times if you don't get it. Begin with opening prayer by Aaron. All right.
Thank you, Lord, for today. Thank you for another opportunity that we have to serve the people of Moultrie County, to those that entrusted us to do their business, Lord. God, I pray that tonight's meeting would be efficient, effective, that the questions that need to be asked would be asked, that the board members and the public that are here, Lord, that they'd have the courage to say what needs to be said, and we can do things the way that need to be done. Lord, I pray that you would be with our first responders tonight and in the weeks ahead, that you protect them, that you bless them and their families for their willingness to sacrifice. Lord, I pray for the farmers. I pray for them, for their equipment, their hands in the field, Lord, that you would be with them, that you keep them safe, that this harvest would be a bountiful one, and that they would be able to meet the goals and the numbers that they need to, and that they would exceed them. God, I thank you for your favor, grace, mercy, and love in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good, everyone. Roll call.
Boyle,
Present.
Kirby, Jackson, Tyler Raven,
Present.
Vanderburg,
Here.
Phelps,
Here.
Buxton, Wilhelm,
Here.
Kenny Graydon,
Here.
Rose,
Here. Thank you. We have a form. Mission statement, Travis, please.
Moultrie County Board mission statement: to responsibly administer the county's business in fully disclosed appropriate manner, such that the will of the citizens is reflected with respect to the services and information desired, commensurate with funding provided by the citizens and other available sources.
Thank you, Travis. I have no correspondence currently. Do I have an approval of September 12th, 2024 plan ordinance? Motion.
who's that? I'll need you guys to speak up a little loud.
Already got yelled at before we even came up with the worst one, so stupid. Any discussion?
Kenny second.
Any question or discussion? You need a roll call, Linda. Roll call.
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Graydon,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Boyle,
Yes.
Tyler Raven,
Yes.
Mr. Vanderburg,
Yes.
Guest speaker, Rachel Springer, that's right, and 4-H members of Moultrie Baptist 4-H.
I have some goodies. Is it okay if I set them over here and I'll talk? Okay. I was supposed to have a 4-H member with me here tonight. Unfortunately, because of a family emergency, she wasn't able to make it. But she did prepare, sat down with me for an hour to prepare a speech for you guys. And I hate for that not to be represented, so I did bring it with me. And you're welcome to keep it and pass it around and read it at your disposal there. We just wanted to take a second. You guys are our supporters and we appreciate you. Just to give a program update of sorts. So I put together a little pamphlet to give you all of where we're at this year. And I also have our program calendar so you know what we're doing this year in 4-H. So we are so excited. I'll just kind of tell you the talking points as I'm passing out. Our enrollment ended the year last year at 115. Which was up 66% from last year, the previous year, at 68 kiddos. We have 3 super strong clubs in Moultrie Douglas, Moultrie specifically at the moment, 3 clubs, that also have clover buds with them. We just launched a new club at the Arthur Christian School, and we have Lovington Moto Mavericks, and we have the Moultrie County Shining Stars with Erica Lane and Aaron Sullivan. So all together between the 2 counties, there are 6 regular 4-H clubs, and then we are launching 3 new spin club options for the kiddos this year. And a spin club is just a special interest club, so we're super excited, and this is open to all of our members. We're launching shooting sports, which is, we're working on getting that together. out at the Atwood Hammond Shooting Sports Club facility, the Sportsman's Club out there. Emerging leaders, I'm leading 8th graders and up, and we have several from Sullivan coming to give us guidance on what we're doing this year and help us make a program calendar and how we're going to serve the kiddos this year. So they have a big voice, and they've asked for a livestock judging team. So we're launching a livestock judging team. So we're very excited about that. We plan to participate in Lakeland's contest along with other 4-H contests that are available through the state. And we also have 4 Cloverbud clubs. The Lovington Moto Mavericks has one, and the Arthur Christian School also has a Cloverbud club. And I just put some of the the county level community service we've been doing, workshops we have planned for this year, kind of just give you a summary there on the front. Field trips, we went to the Aikman's Wildlife and then the Great Pumpkin Patch. We had a very successful Bounce into 4-H event a few weeks ago, and we have a skate party scheduled for January. But if you just look in the inside flap, it just tells you our 2024 fair facts, so you know what kiddos participated. We had 65 kids participate in 4-H at the fair. 53 showed general projects with 106 exhibits. We had 28 kids show livestock. This year for horses, we will be out at the Moultrie County Fairgrounds, so super excited about that. And we had 120 animal exhibits. 10 kids went to the state fair and showed in livestock. We had 20 kids, that was up from 11 last year, that participated and were promoted to the state fair general show. And 4 of those kiddos won major awards. Garrett Hopper, in particular, he's a high school senior here. He won grand champion visual arts. So, they did wonderful. So very proud of them this year. Just to encourage the kids in their participation, we have a new club initiative, and it's Club of the Year, and the kiddos can get points for all of the things that we focus on, doing talks, demonstrations, having speakers, attending 4-H camp, just to make it fun this year. So we have a friendly competition going on among clubs, so the kids stay active. We did a very fun, if you look in the middle, we had a youth ag day at the Moto Fair. We had over 100 kids participate, and we played Moto Fair bingo as they went to stations, and we were able to partner with several organizations, FFA, Ag in the Classroom, Farm Bureau, to pull that off. So that will definitely, I'm sure, be a staple for this fair as well. It was very well received, and we had a very nice night. It was the same day, evening, as our auction. And those are just some pictures of past recent events we just had. We're trying to have at least 2 events per month for the kiddos, whether that's workshop, field trip, learning activities, things of that nature, things they're interested in. Slime science was a big hit. I had 30 kids. What the praise is of this year is we have quickly learned we've outgrown our extension office, so I can't hold events there anymore. So I have been reallocating where we're going when we meet together as a county for things. So that's been encouraging right out the gate this year. So I've been on staff since February, made it through my first year, and this is my first full year of 4-H. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see us grow and expand and pour into the kiddos. I have two 4-Hers. I grew up in 4-H, and just excited to see all the kids get out of it what I got out of it. So we also have a lot of school programs. I shared those with you last time I came. I brought them with me again. Lovington is using all of our social emotional curriculum as their core curriculum. So I've been working really closely with Tracy Garman from there, their school counselor, to implement all of that, and they're loving it and enjoying it. I would love to expand upon our school programs and what we also offer libraries, the same type of thing. So, do you have any questions for me? I know it's like brief and hit you with a lot of stuff, but we're always, if you ever want to have any questions or have opportunities locally where we can partner together, we're always looking for opportunities for the kiddos. So, I appreciate you taking the time to let me share, and I'll leave you with all the goodies. And our school programs are up here. I'll just leave if anybody's interested, they'll be up here. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate the increase in kids.
Yes,
Sounds great.
we're just going to go up. And then I can come back and I can tell you we went up more. So, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but you're not required, so we understand and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next on guest speakers, Greg McLean of Village of Bethany.
Okay.
Good evening. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak to you. My purpose for coming this evening is to come to request the Village of Bethany is requesting a letter of support from the county board for an extension of our TIF. Our TIF will be expiring in 2026, payable 2027. I usually don't have notes in front of me. I'm much better at just talking to folks, but I don't want to miss any points tonight, so bear with me as I look away a little bit here. And I do understand that one of our trustees has been here before and requested a TIF extension letter, but I felt like I was involved with the TIF from its implementation. I've been a board member for the Village of Bethany for 20 years or so now, and I believe I might have some information that would be helpful in making your decision. But I believe the best use of my time here tonight is just to kind of give you some ideas of some things that have been brought to me over the course of the last couple of months of things that people said that the board or individuals had questions about, and so I just wanted to kind of quickly touch on some of those, if that's all right. One of the things was that it has been said that the Village of Bethany, in their implementation and taking care of their TIF, has allowed multiple businesses to default on TIF agreements without repayment. Our typical remodeling agreement that we use in our community is it's like a 5-year forgivable loan. And so if a business is wanting to rehab a building, get something going in a business in downtown, we would typically grant them a five-year forgivable loan, for a fifth of it forgiven each year, and at the end of that, it would all be forgiven as long as the business stays in business and the building has not been sold. Our very first one of those TIF agreements, the people sold the business or sold the building, moved out of town, and we did not have in place a repayment plan because first one we'd ever done, we didn't know exactly what to expect. So we did, that total agreement was for $10,000, so there was they had fulfilled about half of it, so that was an approximately a $5,000 loss or mistake. And while I agree that any loss is too much, even in that loss, we had a building that ended up being remodeled and usable that very likely would have been torn down if it had not been for that TIF agreement. So even in bad situation there, good money money was spent for good purposes. So that was the only one of those. Ever since then, we have had a plan built in, a repayment plan that if anybody closes their business or sells the building, they're required to pay whatever percentage of whatever portion of that they have not fulfilled back. We have had that happen twice, and we have recovered all of that money. We have never lost another dollar on anything like that. So that's one thing I wanted to make clear and share with folks. The other thing that they talk about is that some people have mentioned is money being used on the village's utilities as opposed to development, meaning new construction, those kinds of things. Well, in knowing that no significant development is going to take place in a community without quality utilities and infrastructure, the drafters of the TIF Act put in specific provision for TIF dollars to be used in upgrading and building of utility systems. So with that in mind, when the Village of Bethany began their TIF, that they put several projects, utilities, knowing that we were going to need to upgrade some things, that was put in that project that was started 20 years ago. And that TIF fund has never been treated by the village as an open checkbook to spend on just whatever they want to. And even if we did want to do that, our TIF administrators wouldn't allow that. There are certain criteria that has to be met with that. I went back just recently and reviewed our public works plan just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm very happy to see that many of the projects, the utilities and the infrastructure plans that were put in place that either have been completed or are being completed as we speak. We're actually right in the middle of about a $4 million infrastructure, water main, water plant rehab. That's not all being paid for by any means out of TIF. We have a rural development loan that we're taking care of most of that with. But these are all things that were planned in the original TIF plan to be done. And so we are continuing to do those things. And I can tell you, one of the things that we did was bring utilities out to the Dollar General site that's on the north corner of town, which would not have been possible to have that building out there had it not been for getting utilities out for that location. So these are not just last minute thoughts. These were things that were actually put into the plan 20 years ago. And then one of the final things that has been mentioned to me is that people think that there has not been enough development to increase the tax base the way we would like to. Well, the quick answer to that is to have development, you have to have a developer. And so one of our very first TIF agreements that we did, in fact, one of the reasons for establishing our TIF was there was a subdivision that was opening up and beginning to build, and we had a TIF. When we brought the TIF in the community, we were able to use some of that money. The problem is that the developer, I don't know if it was because of panic or exactly what happened there, but they began to sell lots to people who already had houses built there, and so we ended up with one homeowner that had 2 and 3 lots, and that doesn't help the tax base much if you're not building a house on those lots. They just wanted to keep people from building too close. So another early thing that has kind of caused a little bit of a problem out there. But we are very much open to development. In fact, there's approximately 20 acres around the edge of Bethany that are open and available for development. So if anybody knows somebody that wants a small manufacturing plant, something like that, we've reached out to several places, but we are absolutely, that's what we want to do is develop. And along with that, we now have finally, after all these years, we have a young family that's moved back to Bethany who are absolutely preparing to do development there. They have the means, they have the knowledge, and they have the desire. So that's one of the things that is going to be happening. So that's with them coming back to the community. That's one of the main reasons that we're so anxious to get this TIF extension. It's going to be very important for what they plan to do. They've already bought several lots in town that they're going to be building on, but going into the future, they want to establish even more. There's other locations that are reaching out to them who are not in Bethany or Moultrie County, and so we want to do all we can to incentivize them to stay in Bethany and Moultrie County to do their building. Their roots are in Bethany, that's where they want to work, but we really would like to have that extension so that we could offer them and incentivize them to do that. And then my final comment concerning development is this, that I believe that development is not only building new buildings, but keeping the existing buildings standing and safe. And that has been a big thing that we have been able to do. Over the years, we've been able to provide TIF funds to be used to rehab 8 separate buildings in our downtown, 4 of which I can feel confident in saying that I believe would have been torn down by now if TIF had not been used for those buildings. And in those 8 buildings, we now have 6 operating businesses. Actually, every building that we have used TIF funds has an operating business, but one of the businesses takes up 3 buildings. So out of 8, we have 6 operating businesses. And though it might not bring in as much tax revenue to the county and to the village as a brand new building, it's still better than an empty lot. We know that if we had torn those buildings down, that would take our tax revenues down. So, in just closing, I want to share just a very small handful of things that have been accomplished, at least in part, by the TIF in Bethany. We have funded projects at our school district every year since the establishment of the TIF. We have 8 rehab buildings, 6 operating businesses. In addition to our local library, the TIF funds were used to help with that. A paved walking trail and security cameras at our park, utilities improvements, a building addition and new equipment for our fire department, the building of a new Dollar General, roof and siding for our local American Legion, and there's more than that, but those are just some things that I really wanted to highlight that I think have been very important. We've made a very, very conscious effort to return TIF funds back to our school district. We don't want to make our TIF harm them any at all. So we have an agreement with them. Money goes back to our school district every single year. Along with that, to also help with our development, we have just recently went into an agreement with the Moultrie County Planning and Zoning Administrator Office to handle our zoning and our new construction inspections and things like that. So that's going to be a huge help for us. That's not where our knowledge is. Our knowledge is helping to run the community. So that will be a big help as we go forward with development. I promised I wouldn't take very long, but if you have any questions for me, I would be more than happy to try to answer them this evening.
I have a couple.
Yes.
So I was just informed today that Maribone Township had a meeting and voted no against the TIF.
I was not aware of that. I had,
I'm asking because it's not substantial, it's not.
yeah, I had spoken to them, and actually them and the county are the only taxing bodies that have not given us approval so far of the recommendation. They were to be my next stop.
I guess as a county, I'd like to know if they did in fact vote no, and why. Or what, or what was their consent vote.
Yeah, again, I was not aware of that coming in here tonight, so I will definitely be reaching out and see what I can find out.
I think that would be beneficial.
Appreciate the information, though.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
One last guest speaker that's not on the list is myself, and that is a happy birthday to King Graydon for his 25th birthday. I was just informed. It feels like to be 25. Unfinished business is, I have a motion to approve the 20-year, excuse me, I have a motion to approve the 12-year TIF extension for Village of Bethany. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there a question or discussion?
We table that.
Yeah,
until we know.
I have a motion to table the motion.
Second.
Tyler seconds.
Sorry.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Unfinished business, B is discussion possible action to approve the fiscal year 25 proposed budget for public display.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
There's a motion. I do have some amendments to the budget that was proposed from the Budget and Finance Committee. The first one I'd like to make is a motion to amend the budget as presented to increase circuit clerk salaries for clerks, account number 001-003-50311 by $5,000 to $165,500.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Question or discussion?
What was the, I don't remember what the reason was the increase?
It
that
was-
to account for the pay periods, or?
It was to account for the flexibility for, in the event there was, were people that were off, if there was the way the pay periods could fall, it was, and to bring the amount in the budget up to the expected salary amounts that the circuit clerk was expecting.
Is there any other question or discussion on that amendment? A roll call or?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Graydon,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes.
Tyler Graydon,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. Then we also had, I would make a motion that we increase contracted services, appellate services, account number 001-007-50756 by $2,000 to $10,000.
Second.
Second.
And this was to bring the budget in line with the updated expectation of what those contractual services were going to be. We did not know that at the time of the original budget.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Graydon,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes.
Tyler Graydon,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. Next, I had a motion to increase capital expenditures, account number 056-000-54590 by $600,000 to allow for the potential use of funds levied for capital improvements.
Is there a second?
Second.
questions or discussion?
This is not for a known expenditure that we have. It is to allow us to appropriate the money for the monies that have been levied last year and this year potentially.
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Green,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Griffin,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. Next, I had a motion to increase the revenue for court support system 022-001-41710 by $30,000 for an expected grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Question or discussion? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Green,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Griffin,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. I had a motion to increase expense for court support fund 022-000-72010 by $30,000 to appropriate money for potential grant expense.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there a question or discussion? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Green,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Griffin,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. I had a motion to increase capital outlay jail by account number 054-008-50890 by $234,000 for the repeater project.
Is there a second?
Second.
Question or discussion? Part of the repeater program we work with?
There was money appropriated for capital improvements that was utilized for other capital improvements, and this amount is necessary to appropriate the money to complete the repeater project.
Any other questions? Discussion? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Green,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Griffin,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes. I have no further motions that I'm aware of.
No more 14 minutes?
Not yet. Well, we're working on it.
You're the detail guy.
I have one motion or amendment I would like to make to the budget. I'd like to make an amendment to the budget on line item 001-007-50716, and that's the salary of the state attorney investigator. I'd like to have that set at $30,000.
Is there a second? If there is no second, the motion dies. Thank you. Is there any other questions, discussions, or amendments? Okay, so the original motion is on the table with John's 6 amendments. Second's already been made, so roll call on,
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Green,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
yes,
Tyler Griffin,
Yes.
Vanderburg,
Yes.
I have no appointments this evening. Moving on to new business. Committee reports, outstanding budget finance, John Denver.
First First, we have a motion to approve the treasurer's reports for September 2024.
Second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Kenny Brittany.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Boyles.
Yes.
Tyler Griffin.
Yes.
Vanderburg.
Yes.
Phelps.
Yes.
Next, I have a motion to approve all claims as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Phelps.
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Kenny Brittany.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Boyles.
Yes.
Tyler Griffin.
Yes.
Vanderburg.
Yes. Lastly, I have a motion to accept the resolution for the sale of parcel 0808999970019M by Moultrie County as trustee to Sullivan North for $915 for the disposal of said property through the sealed bid auction process.
Is there a second?
Second.
Question or discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Phelps.
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Kenny Brittany.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Boyles.
Yes.
Tyler Griffin.
Yes.
Vanderburg.
Yes.
Anything further, John? Building and property, Tyler?
I don't have any motions, but the jail painting is still going on, is getting pretty close, I do believe. The jail boiler, the new one was installed, they were doing the piping, they have the piping finished. We got the exhaust piping done, so it should be ready for startup anytime. They'll have to have a tech from the company actually do the startup on something like that, so. And the generator, we're still waiting on the transfer switch to come in, so that was, I believe the last one, there was one order, I think, last month from somebody that was 24 months out, so we're kind of lucky we did what we did, but we're still waiting. But that is all the updates I have.
Road and Bridge, for lack of meeting, we did not have any motions this month. Planning and zoning.
We did meet, we have some motions. Letter A, we have a motion to approve a special use permit request for a dog kennel by Jeremy and Rachel Kennedy, and that's on pin 040427000204, and that's at 1563 County Road 375 East in Bethany.
Is there a second? Okay. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Phelps.
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Kenny Brittany.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Boyles.
Yes.
Tyler Griffin.
Yes.
Vanderburg.
Yes.
Next, B, we have a motion to approve a special use permit request for a manufactured home by, I'm going to mess it up, Serhanda Aldridge on pin 010112308002. That's at 525 Webster Street in Lake City.
Is there a second?
Second.
Question or discussion?
I think, do we have some people here tonight to discuss that? Do we have the property owner first, or is this,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Saranda Aldridge.
okay?
Yeah, I wanted to buy this place so we'll have some place to retire to. And we own our mobile home, so it's took everything that we've had in our savings to get us to where we're at on Webster Street. We've done a lot of work there. It still needs work, but we're doing a little at a time until we can get it completed. We just want a place to where we can retire and call ours. And if we have to, if something comes down to where we're going to have to move it, it's going to take me a while to even save that up.
Is there anyone else that has a discussion or?
I live across the street,
Yes, sir.
and I don't want it to be passed, just for property value sake. And I don't know if it was ever found out because of there's already a trailer on the property, and now there's another one, and I don't know if they have the title to the trailer, the one trailer that was already on the property, but I just don't want it to be passed.
What was your-
Free lemon.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Discussion? Yes.
I approve the.
Could you please take your name for us?
Oh, I'm Kendra Jenkins.
Kendra Jenkins.
We live across the street as well, on the other side, and they have our permission to be there and we want it to be passed. So,
Okay. Is there anyone else? Yes, sir. Please take your name for us. Please.
Samuel Shoemake, and yes, I do approve of them being there. They've made tremendous improvement in the land, the way it looks. And yeah, like Linda said, it's just gonna take some time to get it cleaned up a little better, but they're doing what they can.
Anyone else? We've kind of had a development, if you would, and I would make the recommendation to the board that we refer this back to the Zoning Board of Appeals for their recommendation. What happened is they went out there and they had a quorum, but they had 4 people, and it was 2-2 on the recommendation. So I think that we refer that back and maybe have another visit. That doesn't mean yes or no, but that does mean that I think they need to make a full recommendation to the committee, and then we'll bring it back in front of the board. And that would be, Christie, if you want to enlighten, am I saying that correctly? This is our planning and zoning person.
So because the zoning board didn't give a recommendation to the county board, it can be remanded back to them to look at the site again and have a quorum and give an actual recommendation to the county board. That will be up to the full board to do that. That's what those people are for. They go to the site, they look at it, they make their decisions based on the testimonies from those that are in attendance. I would agree with Travis. I don't give a staff recommendation as I'm the only staff, but I do agree with Travis that it needs to go back to the zoning board to do their part.
And they would also consider the testimony here tonight.
Correct, and it will be on the record.
Have showed up that would be a
Right.
recommendation to that board to review.
Yes. So that's what I would recommend.
What's that?
You need to make an amendment.
Make an amendment to the motion to refer back to the zoning board of appeals with their approved recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tyler did. Roll call?
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Keith Graven.
Yes.
Rare.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Tyler Graven.
Yes.
Danny Burke.
Yes.
All right, next C, a motion to approve rezoning request for a shop to build portable buildings by Justin Cohen on part of 100303. There's a correction there, one more 03, 000403, and that's at 1585 County Road, 2500 North in Arthur.
Is there a second?
Second. Stereo.
Any question or discussion on that?
No, it was nothing controversial with rezoning.
Roll call?
Phelps.
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Graven. Kenny Graven.
Yes.
Rare.
Yes.
Flores. Tyler Graven.
Yes.
Danny Burke.
Yes.
Anything else, Travis?
No, that was it.
Public health and safety welfare, Travis?
We did meet. We continue to monitor the implements of the Safety Act and how that affects. And there was no motions to be made out of that committee.
Thank you, Travis. Marcia was unable to be here this evening. She did personally, so on her behalf, she has a motion to approve the salaries for non-elected officials and their staff members effective December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
For question or discussion?
Did this ever make it out of committee officially? Like, did the committee vote?
Yeah, we voted on it once, and then we decided we needed to have everybody's name attached,
Oh,
not just a position. I mean, it's public knowledge, there's no
Yeah.
reason to hide it.
Okay.
So,
I never put two and two together. I wondered why it came back again. Okay.
There's lack of first meeting.
yeah.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Raven,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Irvin,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Next, Marcia had a motion to approve annual stipend of $5,000 to the dive commander. Is there a second?
Second.
Willie Raven? Is there any questions or discussion?
can I ask one for payroll purposes?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Will that be paid so that we know, and when will it start?
This kind of started with the dive committee. This is something that most, I think almost all counties that have dive teams do. They have a stipend for the commander themselves. They have a lot more they do every month than just, you know, if there's no calls, they're still doing work every month.
I think for her payroll, could we make a friendly amendment to say that that
Yeah.
would be a salary, and that way you could split it up by the payrolls? I think
Yeah.
money's appropriate, I just think
It would
that'd
be-
make it easier to.
If we can do a salary with a divided 12 months, you know, one payment a month is what we do.
Okay.
So would we need to make that amendment to change it from
For
stipend
clarification,
to?
yes.
Okay. So I would make that amendment from stipend to an annual salary of $5,000
And that's per month?
Per 12.
12.
divided by 12.
Divided by 12.
Yes.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll second the other way.
Is there any question or discussion on the minutes? So the motion, I have a motion to approve an annual stipend salary of $5,000 to the dive commander with an amendment divided by 12 months over $5,000. Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Raven,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Irvin,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Marcia has no other. Let's see, we're moving on to other new business. So we have a motion to approve the resolution to participate in the service program of the Office of the State's Attorney and Appellate Prosecutor commencing December 1st, 2024 and ending November 30th, 2025 by hereby appropriating a sum of $10,000 as consideration to the Office of the State's Attorney and Appellate Prosecutor for services to be rendered in the fiscal year 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Aaron, question or discussion? Elizabeth?
This is the annual contract we have with the appellate prosecutors. They provide training and support to our office, as well as if there are any criminal conflicts that Elizabeth and I have with defendants, they will send in a prosecutor to help us with the criminal matters.
Thank you for the clarification. Any other questions? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Raven,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Irvin,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Next, I have a motion to approve a resolution to enter into contractual agreement for technical assistance services with Pulse County Regional Planning and Development Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Any question or discussion? Roll call?
Phelps,
Yes.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
Kenny Raven,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles,
Yes.
Tyler Irvin,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
lastly, I have a motion to accept and approve addition of Lloyd Elmore, Democrat, and Cassie Wagner, I apologize again, to the selection of election judges candidates for 2024 through 2026 as requested by the Democratic Political Party Chair and for application for confirmation by the Circuit Court for 2024 through 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
Tyler? Is there any question or discussion? Kim? Roll call?
Wilhelm,
Yes.
King Graydon,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Boyles, Tyler Graydon,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Lastly, I have child care initiative update by Aaron Mohan.
All right, so the committee met on October 8th, which was last Tuesday. In the discussions that we had, or in that meeting, we learned that Melissa Krieger, who's working on a daycare solution south of town, is actually going to increase the number of available child slots that she was accounting for, which was originally 100. She's upping that to 126. So it's a huge win for Sullivan, but then also the county also. But there is a provider in Lovington who has been operational for the last couple of months, and she's also looking to expand her capacity. Already, I believe she's at 4, looking to get to 8. So the project's coming to a close as all the funds need to be allocated by the end of this year. And the program as a whole was a success. So the initial kind of goal of the committee was to reach 100 child care slots for Moultrie County. Melissa brings in 126, but along with prototypes and other in-home providers that we've worked with, that number has increased as well. So just good stuff. I mean, like I said, things are coming to a close. We should have kind of one final hurrah, I guess, in the next month and a half or so. But Melissa is looking to break ground here in November. So exciting stuff
Good for the
parents.
community.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Aaron. I have no need for executive session this evening. Do I have any comments from county board? Thank you. Elected officials. Oh, you're blank tonight. Department heads. Wow, even great. Public comments.
Go ahead.
I'm Bill Meyer. I spoke to you guys last time. I'm here again about the property tax process, and it is, I've filed a property tax appeal once before in Coles County. When I got filed to the Board of Review, they had the meeting in which I expressed everything. The Board of Review asked me questions, they grilled me, and they made their assessment and voted right there in the meeting. That is not what happens in Moultrie County. We go into the process in Moultrie County, you state your case, everything else. They flip a few pages, they basically say, you put a decent report together, blah, blah, this, that, the other, and then they send you out of the room. And then somewhere along the line, they hold another meeting without the homeowner present. And they conduct the meeting, and there's testimony given in the meeting that is not being subject to cross-examination, false statements. Person is answering questions that I, as a homeowner, should answer.
The next one to go to on our list.
What is it that you're planning?
This is the secret meeting.
To do an equitable comparison based on having a basement, his house having a basement. I found 5 just within the same subdivision. And
This process is a legal process. She is not an attorney. She does not have a license to practice law. She cannot give testimony without representation. We have a state's attorney that should be doing that. She has interfered into my property tax appeal case. She practiced law without a license.
They all have less square feet than this. The one comparable had 69,500 square feet. And his is 94,700 square feet.
So I can say right off the bat, one, I'm half deaf and don't have my hearing aids in. But two, she is giving information about property tax. Correct? I'm asking a question.
She is giving information about
Property
and her,
tax.
yes,
Period, property tax.
my property.
No, property tax.
She's giving information about my property. Now,
That's the only question I have.
okay. I have filed an appeal to the PTAP as well. I've sent this information to them to upload. I do, and I filed several FOIA requests to get this information. One of the things that I've come across is the county has hired an outside law firm out of Springfield to file the complaint or the rebuttal to my appeal, which I don't quite understand. I have yet to find anywhere with you guys approving the use of an outside law firm. We have an attorney, county attorney, that should be able to do this. Why was an outside law firm used without board approval? Because I haven't seen anywhere in the minutes my FOIA requested information, and I don't see where that was even given as approval. And in the rebuttal that they gave, there were false statements put into a legal document. I have the recordings, I went through the recordings, and they put in the legal document things that they said the Board of Review stated or reasons for denial that were never stated in any of the recordings. So basically that is, somebody committed perjury by submitting false information into legal documents. So I really wish you guys would kind of set some procedures, policies to get things clean above board. There should not be secret meetings without the homeowner there. The vote should have occurred in front of the homeowners. The question should be posed to the homeowners, and because it's their complaint, it's our complaint. We should have had the questions posed to us. Because part of the thing she said in there, there were 5 properties that had basements out in the South Shores. That is true. One of the properties is just a small, basically a storm shelter. 3 of the properties have outside exits, so all the square footage of the basement is taxable. I didn't have any of that. That was my statement, was I don't have outside exits. It wasn't finished. So what she said was true, but it wasn't the whole truth. And I was denied the opportunity to cross-examine and state those facts of why I presented my case the way I did. And those small details were necessary. So you guys really should look into what's going on with our property tax system and set procedures and guidelines to make sure things are done properly.
Is there a date associated with that reporting?
Yes. 1/9 of 2024. And there will be there's 2 recordings for my property. And if you're going to look at that PTAB rebuttal that they sent in and read it. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Public comments? Jim?
I just wondered if the tentative budget will be available to the public tomorrow.
Don't know the timeline, 15 days.
Well, we will need to incorporate the amendments as presented, and our treasurer is, I believe, out of town or off work for a day or two. We have to have it publicly available for at least 15 days. So I can't speak to whether it will be available tomorrow, as those changes need to get implemented.
I know for a fact.
What's the percentage change in the levy, up or down?
It was below the truth and taxation limit. I wasn't prepared for that detail, but I can get it for you if you'd like.
Okay. Also, I guess if I get one more question, I'm curious about the progress of the Zillow lawsuit, where that is right now.
They're doing oral arguments in the appellate court on, I believe, October 25th. It's at the end of this month.
Okay.
You still got 3 minutes, Tim. We were allowed 5 minutes, you still got 3.
I still got 5. So I was curious too about the circuit court ruled that the county would pay Zillow's lawyer fees. So
No.
do we have to, does the county have to pay that on the appeal also?
No, that's not what has happened so far. What has happened so far is that the appeal has to do with an issue that was raised in the trial. And we were given permission by Judge Rhodes, who heard the trial, to go ahead and appeal this issue. You have to have the court's permission to do it. Got it, did it. And that's what's going on right now. There has not been any ruling about attorney's fees at all. And once the appellate court is through with this, if the case, well, one way or the other, the case will come back to Moultrie County, and at that point then there will be a hearing, and the judge will decide if the attorney's fees get paid, if the amount they ask for gets paid, or if substantially less gets paid. That's just not been the subject of a court ruling yet.
Well, I thought they did say that they were entitled to.
Well, they did. I mean, that's arguing. That's what I'd say too.
No, I mean, I thought that was in the circuit court in the judge's ruling.
It's in the pleadings, but it's not in the ruling.
Okay. And so, is Mr. Hamlin still defending the county?
Yes.
And what do we have to pay him?
Nothing.
So he's doing it pro bono?
He's doing it because Tracy Weaver and I assisted him when he became the state's attorney in Shelby County, and so because of the good faith that was held there, he has agreed to do this for us and our county without charge. I will just mention that.
Practice now.
Well, he's in private practice.
Yeah, he is.
And his rate, his regular, rate is $650 an hour. So you can see it's a big benefit that Moultrie County gets.
Okay.
Any other public comments, questions?
I've got one.
Yes, sir.
I would urge the board to determine whether the property tax appeal people actually held a secret meeting. And was it a secret meeting? Did they agenda the meeting? Did they have a notice, an agenda listing what they were going to talk about, any decisions they were going to make? Because if it was truly a secret meeting, then any decisions they make should be overturned before it goes to the PTAB of the state. Because you can't make decisions with a majority of the board there unless it's in the actual meeting. I think you might know the answer.
I do know the answer. It was an open meeting. Everything was recorded. Everything was on the agenda. They typically, and I'm currently the supervisor of assessments, but at the time this was done, I was the chief deputy. I wasn't present for the meetings, but I have listened to them. There was an agenda. It was posted. The homeowners did meet with the Board of Review, and then they did have their decisions later, but it was all on the agenda. It was all open meetings.
So the second meeting was,
So there was no secret meeting. It was all continuous.
that's what I meant, the second meeting was not a secret meeting.
No, absolutely not.
Just wanted to clear that up.
I have the minutes and I have the audio to prove that if anybody's interested in that.
Okay.
Any other public comments? Questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
All those in-